right, here's Rachel. Come from inside the meeting.
You guys are awesome. We could hear you perfectly well inside the shareholder meeting. They may have been pretending that they couldn't hear you guys, but they heard you loud and clear. I also let them know that there were protesters outside and they were welcome to join the protest afterwards. So we'll see if any take us up on that offer. If you'd like, I could share the statement that I read inside. I imagine it'll be a bit of a repeat of what the issues others have brought out, but this was exactly what I said to them. I said, my name is Rachel Small. I'm with the Council of Canadians and the Mining and Justice Solidarity Network. I have a share in this company, and I'm going to provide some context for a question, and all of the context is backed up by the reports and the documentation that I have. Oh, I'm out of breath. That I will give to you after I speak, and I did give it to the CEO. So in 2013, Oceana took on an expensive, drawn-out legal battle, suing El Salvador for $250 million US over a mine permit that it has never met the regulatory requirements to obtain. El Salvadorans, meanwhile, have been very clear that they do not want mining to proceed in their densely populated and already water-stressed country. 98% of the country's freshwater supplies are already heavily polluted. The proposed mine would threaten the watershed that provides drinking water for 2/3 of the population. An overwhelming majority of Salvadorans want to see a permanent ban on metal mining in the country. Over 80% of the population confirmed this in a 2015 poll. So Oceana Gold's lawsuit is clearly an effort to bully the Salvadorian people who are setting their own economic and environmental agenda free from destructive metal mining projects. Many are also looking to the company's take on corporate philanthropy through its foundation in El Salvador as a further attempt to increase social divisions and contribute to violence against local community activists. Between 2009 and 2011, 4 environmental activists were murdered in Cabañas, El Salvador, and more recently, several local organizations have received violent threats. These crimes have never been fully investigated. So a decision in this case will be announced shortly, and El Salvador has already spent over $12 million US in legal fees, an amount that could go a long way towards providing basic services to reduce poverty in the country. $250 million US would have a devastating effect on the country's economy. Shame. So many in El Salvador are also looking at the Philippines for further evidence of why the proposed mine will not benefit their country. Local organizations in Nueva Vizcaya, where Oceana's Gold DDPO mine is located, are calling for Oceana Gold's operations to stop immediately and for their lands to be rehabilitated. They've already faced impacts on their water supplies and their farmlands. The incoming governor, in fact, of Nueva Vizcaya issued an open letter reiterating the call for Oceana Gold to pull out and emphasizing how the costs of the company's open pit mine far outweigh the benefits for them. In 2012, 2 environmental activists who opposed that mining project were also assassinated. So Salvadorans are preventing their communities from experiencing the kind of environmental devastation and displacement that has already been faced by communities impacted by Oceana Gold's Philippine mine. So, Oceana Gold has repeatedly claimed that its mining project will be good for El Salvador and for communities near the mine they would like to open there. However, given the terrible precedent of violence, displacement, and contamination in the Philippines, given the lack of consent from the people of El Salvador, and given the negative impacts of Oceana Gold's lawsuit that have already happened in El Salvador, I would like to know how you back up this claim. And they didn't really answer. He said that all my claims were spurious. Apparently every single thing I said was untrue. And he said that they have very strong values. Yeah. But that's okay because, yeah, high profit margins, I think is what values means, yeah. But we know the truth, and they heard our presence out there. I passed all those reports. We'll get our story in the media, and the whole world really is going to know what the truth is, and what those, honestly, it was like 17 people in that board meeting, what they claim is the truth doesn't really matter in terms of what we hold up and what we fight for. That's it.